The day had finally come. The Galactic Federation, a powerful group of alien races, had set their sights on Earth. Their ships hovered silently in the sky, shining like stars against the blue backdrop. The aliens had heard stories about humanity, stories filled with fear and aggression. They expected a world ready for war. However, they were about to learn that humans could be very different from what they imagined. As the Federation ships landed, the humans gathered in large numbers, curious but calm. They stood together in a big open field, looking up at the strange ships with wide eyes. The aliens stepped out of their vessels, tall and imposing, with bright eyes that glowed in the sunlight. Their skin shimmered in different colors, making them look even more otherworldly. Humans felt a mix of excitement and fear, but they stood their ground. Instead of shouting or preparing for a fight, the humans did something unexpected. A brave human named Sarah stepped forward, her heart racing. With a smile, she raised her hands and said, "Welcome to Earth. We are glad to meet you." Her voice rang out, and the crowd cheered. They were ready to show the aliens who they truly were. The aliens were taken aback. They had expected fear and submission, not joy and welcome. The alien leader, a tall figure named Zorak, looked confused. He glanced at his fellow aliens, who also seemed puzzled. "What are they doing?" Zorak whispered to his advisor. "They should be terrified of us." Sarah continued to speak, her voice steady. "We invite you to join us in celebration. Instead of fighting, let us share our music and culture with you." She turned to the crowd and shouted, "Who wants to sing?" To everyone's surprise, the humans erupted into applause. They began to sing a song about peace and friendship. The sound was beautiful, filling the air with warmth and joy. Zorak's eyes widened as he watched. The humans were choosing song over war. This was not what he had expected. The Federation had come prepared for battle, armed with advanced technology and weapons. But here were the humans, armed with nothing but their voices and their hearts. The aliens were unsure how to react. They had never encountered a species that preferred to sing rather than fight. It was a strange but fascinating sight. As the music played, more humans joined in, dancing and celebrating. They formed a circle, holding hands, swaying to the rhythm. Some aliens started to relax, their rigid bodies softening as they listened. Zorak felt a strange sensation in his chest, something he had never felt before. It was not fear or anger, but curiosity and wonder. The alien leader turned to his advisors. "We should observe this closely," he said. "There is something powerful in their music." The other aliens nodded, captivated by the humans' joyful display. More songs followed, each one telling a different story. Some were about love, others about adventure. The melodies were catchy, and soon even the aliens found themselves tapping their feet. A few started to hum along despite not knowing the words. The atmosphere changed from tension to excitement. As the sun began to set, the sky turned shades of orange and pink. The humans lit lanterns that floated up into the night sky, creating a breathtaking sight. It was a celebration of life, a moment where differences faded away. Zorak watched in awe as the humans united through music, something that seemed to connect them deeply. At that moment, Zorak understood something important. The humans had a strength that he had never expected. It was not in their weapons or their technology, but in their ability to express themselves through art and song. The aliens had come ready for war, but they found themselves drawn into a world of music and joy. As the last song ended, the humans cheered and clapped. They had made their first contact, but it was not what anyone had anticipated. They chose to share their culture rather than engage in conflict. Zorak realized that this was just the beginning of a new understanding. The humans were not weak. They were strong in a way he had never known. Back on the home planet of the Galactic Federation, the Council gathered to discuss the strange events that had unfolded on Earth. The council chamber was large and filled with representatives from different alien races. Each race had its own unique features, from shimmering scales to glowing eyes. They sat in a circle and the mood was tense. Zorak, the alien leader who had observed the humans, stood at the front. He cleared his throat and began to speak. "We faced the humans today, and instead of fighting, they sang songs. They welcomed us with open arms and music, which is completely unexpected." A small alien with 4 arms named Vex raised a hand. "But why would they choose to sing instead of defend themselves? It makes no sense." "They should be afraid of us." Zorak nodded. "That is what we thought. But instead of fear, they showed us joy. I saw humans dancing and celebrating. They were not frightened, they were proud. The council members murmured among themselves, their expressions a mix of confusion and disbelief. Another council member, a tall, slender being with a long neck named Rila, spoke up. Maybe it was a trick. Perhaps they planned to catch us off guard. We should prepare for an attack. Her voice was sharp and filled with caution. Zorak shook his head. I do not think so. Their music was genuine. I felt emotions that I have never felt before. This is not a species that will bow down easily. They have a different kind of strength. The council was divided. Some believed the humans were hiding something, while others felt there was more to their behavior. Vex leaned forward, his eyes wide. What if they are using music as a weapon? What if their songs can control our minds? We cannot underestimate them, Rila chimed in. We should gather more information before making a decision. What if we send a small team back to Earth to investigate further? We must know what we are dealing with. Zorak considered this. That could be wise. But we should also be careful not to provoke them. They have shown kindness, and we do not want to ruin that with aggression. The council members nodded, but their faces showed uncertainty. The meeting continued as the council debated their next steps. Some wanted to confront the humans, while others believed they should learn more about their culture. The aliens had always relied on strength and power, but the humans were teaching them that there were other ways to connect. Finally, a wise elder named Kren spoke. His voice was slow and calm. Perhaps we need to rethink our approach. We have always believed that strength comes from weapons and fear. But the humans have shown us that there is power in kindness and creativity. What if we reach out to them instead? The room fell silent. Kren's words hung in the air, making everyone think. Zorak nodded slowly. You are right. We should invite them to share their music with us. Let us learn from them. This could be a chance for peace. Vex looked uneasy. But what if they take advantage of our openness? They might turn against us when we least expect it. Rila spoke again. We must be cautious but also brave. This is an opportunity for understanding. We have the chance to create a new alliance with a species that sees the world differently. Zorak took a deep breath, feeling the weight of leadership on his shoulders. We will send a message to the humans. We will invite them to perform for us on our planet. Let them show us their culture. If they truly mean no harm, we can find common ground. The council members finally agreed. They decided to send a small delegation back to Earth to extend the invitation. Zorak felt a mix of excitement and fear. This was a chance to learn about humanity, but it also meant opening themselves up to the unknown. As the meeting ended, Zorak looked out of the chamber's large windows. He could see the stars twinkling in the night sky. He knew this decision could change everything. The humans were not what the Federation expected. They were different. And perhaps that difference could lead to something beautiful. With hope in his heart, Zorak prepared to reach out to Earth, ready to embrace the unexpected journey ahead. The day had come for the humans to visit the home planet of the Galactic Federation. Zorak, the alien leader, stood at the front of the grand hall waiting anxiously. The hall was large, filled with alien representatives from different races, all eager to see what the humans would bring. There were shimmering blue beings, tall creatures with colorful feathers, and small, quick aliens with big eyes. Everyone was curious. Finally, the humans arrived. Sarah, the brave human who had first spoken to the aliens, stepped forward. She was accompanied by a group of singers and musicians, all dressed in bright clothes that sparkled like stars. As they entered the hall, their eyes widened in amazement at the alien architecture. The walls were adorned with glowing symbols, and the ceiling sparkled with lights like a starry night. Zorak welcomed them. We are honored to have you here. Please share your music with us. Sarah smiled, feeling nervous but excited. She nodded to her group, and they took their places. As the humans began to sing, the room filled with sound. Their voices harmonized beautifully, creating a melody that resonated in everyone's hearts. The first song was about friendship, and the aliens felt a warmth spreading through them. Many of the council members who had been skeptical began to relax, swaying to the rhythm. Zorak was captivated. He had never heard anything like it. The music carried stories of hope and unity, and it seemed to touch something deep within him. For the first time, he felt a connection to these strange beings from Earth. As the humans continued to perform, they played instruments that made unique sounds. There were guitars, drums, and flutes, each adding a layer to the enchanting music. After the first song ended, there was a moment of silence. The aliens were unsure how to react. Then a wave of applause erupted. The humans beamed with joy, thrilled by the warm reception. Encouraged, they began their next song, this one telling a story of adventure and courage. As the music filled the hall, Zorak noticed something amazing. The aliens began to feel emotions they had never experienced before. The song made them remember their own journeys, the struggles and triumphs of their past. For many, it was a reminder of their own home and families. Vex, the alien with 4 arms, felt tears in his eyes. He had always thought of himself as tough and strong, but the music was breaking down his walls. He turned to Rila and said, "This is more powerful than any weapon. Their music can move us in ways we never expected." Rila nodded, feeling a sense of peace wash over her. "Yes, it is not just sound. It is a language of its own. It speaks to our hearts." The aliens looked at each other, realizing that the humans were not just performers, they were artists sharing a part of their souls. As the performance continued, the humans sang songs of love and loss, each one more moving than the last. The aliens listened intently, completely captivated. The atmosphere in the hall changed. It was no longer just a meeting of different races, but a gathering of beings sharing their experiences. After the last song ended, Zorak stepped forward once more. "You have shown us a new kind of strength. Your music has the power to unite us. We have always believed that might comes from weapons. But you have taught us that true power comes from connection and understanding." The humans smiled, their hearts swelling with pride. They had come to show their culture, but they had done much more. They had created a bridge between their worlds through the magic of music. Zorak continued, "We want to learn more. We invite you to stay longer to teach us your songs and stories. Together we can create something beautiful." The humans cheered, thrilled by the invitation. They knew this was the beginning of a new friendship, one built on shared melodies and dreams. As the aliens and humans mingled after the performance, laughter and conversation filled the hall. Zorak looked around and felt a sense of hope. They had come to conquer, but instead, they had found connection. Music had opened their hearts, and now a new journey was just beginning. As the days passed, the humans and the aliens grew closer. The humans shared more songs, and the aliens shared their stories and traditions. The hall of the Galactic Federation buzzed with laughter and music. Zorak watched with joy as the two groups mingled, breaking down the barriers that once separated them. Sarah, the human leader, was amazed at how friendly the aliens had become. She and her friends had been nervous about meeting them, but now they felt like they were among family. One evening, as the sun set over the alien planet, Zorak invited Sarah and her group to explore the city. The streets were filled with colorful lights and strange sounds. The humans were fascinated by the food, which looked and smelled very different from their own. Zorak encouraged them to try everything. Sarah took a bite of a green fruit that sparkled under the lights. It was sweet and refreshing, and she laughed with delight. "This is amazing! We need this on Earth!" The aliens, too, were eager to learn. Vex, the 4-armed alien, asked Sarah how they made their music. "What instruments do you use? How do you create such beautiful sounds?" he asked with curiosity. Sarah smiled and explained how guitars, drums, and even voices could tell stories. Vex listened intently, nodding in understanding. As the night went on, the humans and aliens began to share their own stories. One human, Mike, spoke about Earth's history, sharing tales of courage and bravery. The aliens were intrigued. They had always viewed humans as weak, but now they saw strength in their stories. Kren, the wise elder, asked, "What drives your people to sing? What makes music so important?" Sarah replied, "Music helps us express our feelings. It brings us together. When we sing, we share our joys and sorrows. It connects our hearts." The aliens nodded, realizing that they too had similar traditions. Rila spoke of their own songs which told the stories of their ancestors. "We sing to remember," she said. "Our songs are our history." As the night deepened, the humans invited the aliens to join them in a sing-along. They gathered in a circle, laughter and excitement filling the air. At first, the aliens hesitated, unsure of how to join in. But Sarah encouraged them. "Just let your voices flow. It's about having fun." Slowly, the aliens began to join in. Their voices were different, but they blended beautifully with the humans. Together, they sang songs of adventure, love, and friendship. Zorak felt a warmth in his heart. He realized that fear was turning into something wonderful, friendship. Over the next few weeks, the humans and aliens spent their days learning from each other. The humans taught the aliens about their culture, sharing stories and laughter. The aliens, in return, showed the humans their art, science, and ways of life. They exchanged knowledge, growing stronger together. But not everyone was happy about this friendship. A small group of aliens, led by a fierce warrior named Grom, watched from the shadows. Grom believed that the humans were still a threat. They may sing sweetly, but they are still weak. We cannot trust them, he told his followers. His words spread fear among some of the council members. They began to worry that the humans would betray them. Zorak heard these whispers and knew he had to act. He called for another meeting with the council to address their concerns. Listen, Zorak began, standing before the council. I understand your fears, but we must not let suspicion rule us. The humans have shown us their hearts. They want friendship, not war. The council was divided. Some were swayed by Zorak's words, but others remained doubtful. What if they turn against us? Grom questioned, crossing his arms. Zorak replied firmly, we must take this risk. If we do not embrace the humans, we will lose a chance for peace. Friendship can bring strength. Together we can face any challenge. Slowly, the council began to understand. They realized that fear was not the answer. Friendship could lead to a brighter future for both species. The music they had shared was a symbol of their bond, a connection that could not be broken. As the meeting concluded, Zorak felt hopeful. They had come so far, and now they had a chance to build something beautiful together. The journey from fear to friendship was just beginning. The day had finally arrived for the humans and aliens to celebrate their new friendship. Zorak stood on a platform in the center of the grand hall, looking out at the crowd gathered before him. The hall was filled with bright lights and colorful decorations, each one symbolizing the bond they had formed. Humans and aliens were busy preparing for the festival, excited to share their cultures. Sarah, along with her friends, helped set up the stage. This is going to be amazing, she exclaimed, her eyes shining with joy. The humans had planned to perform a special song that told the story of their journey and their hopes for the future. As the sun began to set, the hall filled with laughter and chatter. The aliens brought dishes from their home planet, which looked strange but smelled delicious. Sarah tried a dish made of colorful, swirling ingredients. This is so good, she said, sharing it with her friends. They all smiled and cheered as they tasted the alien food. Zorak stepped forward to welcome everyone. Today, we celebrate not just our differences, but our similarities, he said, his voice strong and clear. We have learned so much from each other. Together, we can create a future filled with peace and joy. After Zorak's speech, it was time for the music to begin. The humans gathered on the stage, their hearts racing with excitement. The crowd, filled with both humans and aliens, quieted down. Everyone was eager to hear the song that would tell the story of their friendship. Sarah took a deep breath and began to sing. The melody was uplifting, and her voice rang through the hall like a clear bell. The aliens listened closely, their eyes wide with wonder. As the song went on, the humans shared their experiences, their fears, and their hopes. They sang about how fear had turned to friendship, how they had learned to trust one another. As the chorus approached, the aliens began to join in. They remembered the songs they had sung together and felt a sense of belonging. Vex, Rila, and even Grom, who had been skeptical at first, found themselves singing along. Their voices mixed beautifully with the humans, creating a harmony that resonated throughout the hall. The energy was electric. Everyone was caught up in the moment, forgetting their past differences. They danced together, laughter echoing in the air. The once separate groups of humans and aliens had become one, united by music and friendship. After the song ended, the crowd erupted into applause. Sarah beamed with pride, and Zorak felt a warmth in his heart. This is just the beginning, he declared. Let us continue to learn from one another, to share our cultures, and to grow together. As the festival continued, humans and aliens showcased their talents. The aliens performed a dance that told the story of their ancient legends, while the humans played games that brought everyone together. Laughter filled the air, and the atmosphere was joyful. Amidst the celebrations, Grom approached Zorak, his expression serious. I was wrong to doubt the humans, he admitted. Their music opened my heart. We have a chance to make something great together. Zorak smiled, proud of Grom's change of heart. We all have fears, but we must learn to overcome them. Together we are stronger. As the night wore on, the stars began to twinkle in the sky above. Zorak called for everyone's attention. Let us make a promise tonight, a promise to protect our friendship and to face any challenges together. No matter what comes our way, we will stand united." Everyone cheered, raising their glasses in agreement. The humans and aliens were no longer strangers. They had become friends, allies, and partners in this new adventure. In the following days, the humans and aliens worked together to plan future events, share knowledge, and explore their worlds. They created a council that included both species, where they could discuss ideas and solve problems as one. The festival had marked the beginning of a beautiful partnership. Fear had turned to friendship, and together they would create a future filled with hope, love, and music. They had learned that true strength lay not in weapons, but in unity. As Sarah looked around at her new friends, she felt grateful. This is just the start, she thought. Together we can achieve anything. And with that belief in their hearts, they stepped into a bright new beginning, ready to face whatever the universe had in store for them.